BlackBusters.
What's cracking, family? What's happening? We are back for another episode of BlackBusters.
Yes.
The best movie review podcast in the world.
In the world, Craig.
In the world,
In the world, Craig.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm your host, Big John, along with my co-host.
1,000 tones. Because you know I want 1,000 tones. If I could,
1,000 tones.
if I could just pod with you. If I could just pod with you.
Hilarious.
1,000 tones.
Okay.
That's the name.
1,000 tones.
1,000 tones.
Yes.
Yeah.
1,000 tones.
Best part of the movie.
It is. You'll get the reference in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm going straight to it. We have a special guest.
Yes, we do.
And you know,
Yes, we do.
most hosts say we got a special guest, but no,
Sometimes they're more special than others.
yeah, a specialer guest.
Mm-hmm.
What? Who?
Specialer.
Yeah, a specialer
vowels
guest.
there.
My homegirl, my comedic sister.
Pew, 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 pew.
Great woman, great mother,
Pew, 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 pew,
great
pew.
comedian,
Yeah.
great actress,
Great energy.
great energy.
Mm-hmm.
I have in front of us Takara Williams.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you.
You saw me drop my voice?
Thank
Takara
you.
Williams.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yes,
that.
yes.
Yeah, we
yes.
needed that change in tone.
Yes,
you know,
indeed.
it's serious over
It's
here.
serious,
Yeah.
man.
Welcome to
This
the
is the
stage.
first time I gave it to Takara Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Jade.
Hey, Takara.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
You married.
I'm married now. Dang. I've known Takara
Period.
for over a decade.
Yes.
Which I mean.
We met in a comedy club. We met at Comedy Store.
Was it the store?
I want to say it's a store. I remember getting off stage, or you was getting off stage. Did you have a spike hat back in the day?
I don't know. I don't even know who I was.
It was a
I
Man, I remember seeing it for the first time. No, I think you were getting
feel like it was
off-
the J spot.
Ooh, it might have been.
I feel like it was the J spot.
It's so. It might have been. Well, we met in the comedy club for sure.
Yes, of course.
And J Spot, shout out to J Spot,
Mhm.
J. Anthony Brown, for sure. But yeah, we met. I don't even know what year, but it was a,
2011, 2012.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
When I first
yeah.
moved to Cali.
you first got here,
New
Where you from originally?
York.
New York,
Okay.
Yeah. Bronx.
Bronx. Yes,
Yep.
I didn't want to guess. I wanted to
You
guess,
was
but I
close.
didn't.
You was close. Brooklyn or Bronx?
No,
You
no,
know
I
this-
was gonna say Bronx.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah,
It's
I knew.
Bronx.
For sure. Yeah, man. Hilarious. I'm sure people who will watch this know who you are.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hi.
Hilarious. Are you familiar with her comedy? And if you're,
So here's what's interesting.
Okay.
As I ride shotgun with Ja,
Mhm.
he's like, his network and what he does opens the doors and windows to like so many things that I didn't even know existed.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
So like each time after we do the podcast, I do this full download.
Mhm.
So if like any algorithms like show that I'm stalking, it's not that I'm stalking.
Research.
Stalking.
Yeah, it's
See,
just,
research.
you know,
Yeah, you
post podcast
researching.
research.
Yeah.
Post podcast research.
Post podcast
course.
research. Man.
It's just like, where have I been? Like my algorithms must be like I must be liking the wrong shit.
Yeah, that's what it is.
The
Let
world-
me see your
the-
phone.
the worldwide-
Let me see your phone.
Yeah, see my phone. My shit's right here. It took mine in.
I got on FaceTime.
One of the funniest comedians,
Okay.
not one of the most funniest
Oh,
female comedians, one of the funniest comedians. I enjoy watching you.
Thank you.
From then in live when we first met in the clubs
Mhm.
to all the shows you're doing,
Oh, thank
man. And we haven't talked in a long time,
you. Mhm.
not for any other reason, just life, you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
But your youngest daughter is now 10.
Mhm.
What? That's the same age as my little girl.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. And I knew her before Chrisette even
It was even
existed.
born. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember y'all. I was at the crib, and y'all brought her home in the
In the car seat.
in the car seat.
And Jade was like, "Oh, there's a baby."
The baby.
And you were there for that?
Yeah, I was there. We kicked it.
Yeah.
Me and her ex-husband.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I met you first.
Yep.
I met her first.
Mhm.
I think I met him like within the same week.
Yeah.
He's a comedian as well. Shout out, rest in peace to Nick Hollywood,
Mhm.
Nick Carthan. Yeah, I was over with me. We kicked it every day.
It's
damn every
gotta
day.
be dope for you guys to have this timeline. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like and the networks of people that were either doing videos 10 years ago or comedy 10 years ago. I mean, you guys are a deep fraternity, right? Like of like support and love and but everybody's doing their own thing. So you run parallel with people for a little bit and then they go do their thing. Yeah. So it's got to be awesome for you to watch everything that she's doing and vice versa.
I'll be watching.
It is because a lot of us, when we started off in like this group of just like comics that, he used to do sketches with my ex-husband. And they were so sketch heavy. And then they went from sketch. No, I don't even think you guys were sketch heavy. It was comedy heavy. We gotta go hit this club. We gotta go do this open mic. We gotta go over here and do this. We gotta slide over here and do this and do this and do this and do that. And then to just watch people find a lane that they're comfortable in, that they're successful in, and that they thrive in. It's just a great thing to experience because so many people in life don't have that moment.
Man, you are lovely.
Yeah,
yes. She is lovely.
She is.
I just want, Jack, go ahead, take a break, man. Damn, there's an amazing energy.
Thank you.
So let me get my shit together.
Oh, come on.
I'm not wearing my ring, but I'm gonna put it on. Yeah, my ring is in the car getting hot. Right. Yes. I'm like my Frodo right now. My wife is gonna call. Who are you talking to?
Right.
But it's really good to see, and it's really good to just witness, especially from afar. And I'm just minding my business somewhere. And I have adult kids. My daughter, she's 19, and she goes to college in New York. Yeah, and Chase is 24.
Oh my God.
So just to watch them see stuff, and they'll be like, "Ma, is this Jade?" I'm like, "That is Jade." Oh man, Ma, I love Jade. Is it weird that I follow Jade and I don't follow you? I said, it's very weird. You want to eat? You want to eat tonight or not?
Oh my
you better give me that
gracious.
follow. So just to watch, and even just people. My mom loves your stuff. Just to watch
Tell
people.
Mom I love her.
I got all these siblings, and if it's even just like the mere mention, or they'll send me like your video of a sketch or something you did, and I'm like, oh, that's Jade. You know Jade? And I'm like, yes, I know Jade.
It's crazy because social
dope.
media wasn't as cracking before.
No,
so it wasn't that many pictures. It wasn't like you can see, because back then I'll probably be filming you on camera, on stage, or we'd be on live clowning. I would see her at least 2-3 times a week.
Damn.
I was driving from Hawthorne up to North Hollywood. Before I moved to North Hollywood, they were living up there, and I would see she would get home from work, and you was like a teacher at a prison. Yeah. Get off from work, cook dinner for her kids, and go get ready for a set.
That's crazy.
And go. And I'm saying,
I'm just wondering.
That's crazy. And be coming home from work after teaching inmates. Now I was a substitute teacher as well, but I was teaching at-risk kids, but they were on their way. Yeah. They wasn't there yet. You was already. She was already.
I was like, who was your teacher, John? God, get in here. Come in the classroom. Dang. Jesus, John, what's your teacher?
And you would go to the club and do a set.
Yeah. A show, maybe 1 or 2.
I would do a show,
and then have to come home and turn off all that energy.
Come home.
That's gotta be challenging after being up and so full of it, and then now life demands you to
switch the hat off 3 times from teacher to grown ass men inmates to come home,
mom to wife.
To wife, come home. I watch her come home and wife and mom, and then go to a show
and be talent
and be talent, and come back home and be mom again, and then go back and do it. And so, and it's to see where you're at now. It makes sense. There's not one person that will be like, oh, she don't deserve this. You deserve everything you got and everything that's coming.
Thank you.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm spending a lot of. I ain't seen you in a long time, so I'm spending a lot of time, and I would love to spend the whole hour and some change.
Yeah.
You just catching she was a special guest.
She is. Just because we know how hard it is.
It is. Yeah.
In this comedy game, entertainment in general, but to do it with your kids and your wife. And I saw you through the struggle. I saw you through everything. To see her son is 24, it's crazy. He used to be like a little 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Every time I walk in, I always would grab him, hug him, and overcompensate. Like, what up, man? How you doing? He's always like shy.
Now he's an adult.
Now he's grown, man. He could probably push me out. Hey, fam, chill.
Wait, kid.
What a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
I know. I'm a grandma.
Yeah.
I throw up every time. Every time I think about it, it just hit me right
crazy.
here.
That's
But you know, it's cool because I ain't that kind of grandma, Jade. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
I'm not watching that bald-headed ass baby. I don't know him.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Not yet.
He don't even speak English. You know what I'm saying? He look like he's still. I'm not
He
watching
look like he's
him.
still, you
No,
are
I'm
out of
joking.
control.
I watch him.
Of course. This is
I
coming.
watch
Yeah,
him.
I know your
I
heart
watch
is
him.
huge, so
Yeah,
I know that.
thank
I
you.
know you're joking.
Yes, sometimes.
Yes, of course.
There's some reality in that.
Yeah, but my mom's from New York. My mom is the sweetest woman in the world,
Mm-hmm.
but she is from New York, and it's a
They build different out there.
They build different. It's a different
build
type of.
different out
I think they blood a little thicker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a little
Syrupy.
thicker, a little syrupy.
Little
You know what I'm
syrupy.
saying? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, and you are here because this movie we're gonna discuss.
Huh.
20 years ago. This movie was made 20 years ago.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
20 years.
2004.
Look at the time.
Jeez.
So we're going to get into it, and I don't want to give too many clues away. I'm just going to get straight to it, and then we're going to discuss it. We doing White Chicks.
We doing white. We need to rephrase that.
Yeah, we doing
What
white
we're
chicks.
talking about.
I'm sorry. Whoa. Don't say you doing White Chicks, especially in front of a black
I'm
woman.
not mad. I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'm like kid in the other room. You know what I'm saying? Like
We are
discussing-
reviewing. We are discussing the film.
the film. Okay.
White Chicks.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Caught that.
She said we're gonna rephrase that.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
Mhm.
You know. Director Keenen Ivory Wayans, as we all
Keenen
know.
Ivory Wayans.
Written by Keenen Ivory Wayans, along with his younger brothers and the two stars of the film, Shawn Wayans and Marlon Wayans.
Mhm.
Stars Marlon Wayans, Shawn Wayans, Busy Phillips.
Yeah.
And
She was the thing.
yes, White Chicks.
Mm-hmm.
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews.
Shout out to Terry Crews. Mhm.
Terry Crews made me I was already a fan of him even before this, but this movie made me a huge fan of him because
He is good at this movie.
He's very good.
Yeah.
He's good at this
You
movie.
know, it's crazy.
Yeah. It was a good movie.
Yeah. So yes, here's the thing.
Huh.
I got a
couldn't
text.
survive in 2024.
Okay. So it did. So did it age well?
I think, but it just depends on. To me, it's all perspective. To me, I would love it today, but I'm also a comic, so I don't take things to heart like most people. But if that came out in the theaters in 2024, especially with blackface now being like, no,
Yes. You're right. So
it'd have canceled.
I got your text the other day.
Yeah.
I didn't respond because I want to respond later, and I don't even want to say it now because I want you to start talking about it first. But I'm sure that we're going to agree and disagree in the same conversation.
Let me frame, because after I sent you a text and I was disappointed with what I was watching, right? And then I needed to take a beat and said, like, Tone, don't be so negative all the time. And I want to explain how I feel about this movie. It's going to take just 2 minutes,
Go
right?
for it.
You guys like Mexican food?
Love it.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. Mexican food basically has the core of it has the same ingredients.
Truth.
Tortillas, chicken, beef, rice, cilantro, cheese, right? In sauce.
All Mexican food has that?
The majority of it. The majority of it, right?
I don't think so.
Okay, well
no?
No, I'm Caribbean.
You can take those ingredients, and depending on how you prepare it, you can make tacos, you can make burritos, you can make enchiladas, you can make quesadillas, all based off the same kind of ingredients, right? Some people prefer tacos, some people prefer burritos, or for some people it's too much,
So
right?
racist.
Too much.
What is it?
Mexicans only make tacos, burritos, enchiladas, and fajitas.
But I mean,
I'm
like
joking.
the core menu.
food.
Yeah,
I know he said Mexican food, but it's like there's so many other different types of food that they make. But here, but I get it. Okay.
So just think about that
That's
that
funny.
core part of the menu. This movie, White Chicks, has a lot of the ingredients that I like. I like Keenen. I like Shawn. I like Marlon. I just don't like the way this movie was prepared. Right? So it has all of the things that I like, but prepared in a way that I'm not feeling. And so that was my big takeaway from White Chicks, which is like, it has all the fixings. It has everything that I like a movie to be, but just I'm not a fan of how this movie was executed.
Why?
Because it's just,
Like, what was it that made you say, no, I like you, I like you, I like this, I like that, I like that, but still no?
Because a lot of the things weren't funny to me, right? I don't like Miss Doubtfire is funny seeing Robin Williams kind of transform, but I just wasn't a fan of Marlon and Shawn playing these white chicks. Mm-hmm. I did not like the fart jokes. I did not like, the I didn't like the slapstick of it all, right? Mm-hmm. And then I did not care about anybody. Right? Like, none of these performances, to me, the funniest person in the movie was Terry Crews. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a huge Terry Crews fan, but he made me laugh every time he was on scene. So again, like going back to the Mexican food ingredient analogy, it wasn't for me. Right? Okay. Not that it was bad, but it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it was not for you in 2004 as well?
I don't think it was ever for me. I don't think this is my type of humor, right? Okay. Like, because to me, this is a different strand of Keenen humor, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you got in Living Color, Keenen Ivory Wayans, right? I'm gonna get you, sucker. I'm gonna get you, sucker, Keenen Ivory Wayans. And then there's the little man phase. There's the little man scary movie white chicks phase. And I don't like corporate Keenen. I love Keenen, but I'm not a fan of like what the corporate Keenen machine. These are not my jokes, right? These are not black jokes. These are not like, I don't know who this movie was for. I understand the concept of it all. I get it, but it was just like it's not funny to me. Okay. And again, this is not to say that I can't be down with slapstick, because Don't Be a Menace in South Central is essentially the same type, but it's more culturally focused.
And that's what it is for you. It's not culturally focused for you. To you, as Don't Be a Menace to Society. Well, that's stuff that we can stop and say, oh, that do happen, or that is funny. Right. White chicks is like, why do I care about this version of white women?
The Hamptons?
Right.
What are we doing?
Yeah. That's what it is.
I hear you, and I understand.
Yeah. And I love Keenen and Shawn and Marlon. I want to be super clear. I think this particular order was not what I
see. In 2004, I was like, this is crazy. I like this movie.
Okay.
In 2024, I was like, it was cool. But I laughed, I giggled at some of the parts. Mm-hmm. I giggled at the parts that weren't supposed to be as funny, but to me, that's funny. Like when they were all dressed up as women, and they said, "Oh man, you
want to talk about Mo?"
That shit had I like that.
That was funny.
Oh, you want to talk about Mo? Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. And they was dressed up in the little costumes, but they were dudes. Yeah. That made me chuckle. That made me laugh. I think because of this idea of it, and this is 2004 where men wearing dresses to me I wasn't tripping off that. Nowadays, I wouldn't expect this movie to be come out now and the dudes to be wearing dresses. They're gonna get a lot of ridicule, and because of the climate now. In 2004, I wasn't tripping. Wanda I thought was hilarious. Shanae I thought was hilarious. Yeah. So I had no problem with none of that. So and I didn't have a problem with these guys doing it. They're dressing up to impersonate women. Yeah. For a cover, for a case. Not because they're not drag queens. They don't like men. Mm-hmm. So, and they made it very clear that these are two heterosexual men. Yep. So I don't have a problem with
I wasn't tripping off of none of that.
Yeah. I get it. I think it was funny. It wasn't as hilarious as I wanted it to be, but we talked about Scary Movie. When that came out, I thought at the beginning, when I first watched it, that it was hilarious. The second time I watched it, I was like, I mean, not the second time, but when I watched it 20 years later, I was like,
well, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We aren't who we were 10 years ago.
Facts.
So, that goes for, you ever watch the show or a cartoon and then you watch it now and you be like, what did I love about this stupid? Right. I can see the back of their shirt through the costume, but you love this show. So it's just, we change and our dynamic changes and who we are and what we like. Our taste for entertainment changes. Like, I got friends who watch the news. They wake up and cut the news on and it stay on all day long. And then I got friends who watch CSI Miami. And then I got friends who are Marvel, I'm a Marvel girl, so it's just, our taste just changes because I really enjoyed it back in 2004. I haven't watched it since like 2008. But I also don't think he made it for us. Like, we're super critical. You know, like, this is our job. But for that, my daughter watched it at 18. She thought it was one of the funniest movies she ever seen in her life. But she also said they would kill them if they made this in 2024. But back when I watched it, I loved it when it first came out. Probably because I wasn't supposed to be watching it. Well, no, it's 2024. I was grown.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved the beginning when he was combing his hair. Remember, he was the Indian guy.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Like, if that's your flavor, then you're rolling, right? But if you don't find that particular type of caricature funny, then you're just kind of like finger tapping.
I feel that, and I felt like he came out dancing with the little the drums, the maracas.
Yeah.
I said that's over the top, but that's Marlon.
That's who he is.
You gonna die. He's gonna dance, and even the Wayans brothers. So did you like the Wayans brothers, the TV show?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Because I felt like that was slapstick with also regular sitcoms.
Yeah, daily life. We learned, they had lessons in that. And that's what I think the thing was with White Chicks was, what was the lesson that we learned, in this movie? Yeah, 2 cops dressed up as white girls to save white girls from being, the white girls were so ignorant, from being kidnapped that they went, they got to save these whatever their last name, the Vanderbilts, the Vander something. And then, the dad is the mom and the this and the that. So I think it was very slapstick funny to me, but I also enjoy so many different genres of comedy.
Yeah, right.
That just, that just worked for me.
Like, I'm not I'm not a huge fan of physical comedy.
No.
Like, physical comedy doesn't, like, people falling down doesn't crack me up. But, like, some people, like my wife, for example.
Don't do that.
Like, if somebody, what?
My wife falls.
My wife, no, but, like, she'll see something, like, she'll watch something on TV, and, like, somebody will take a dive, and, like, their feet will go flying up, and she'll just laugh her ass off like it's hilarious. I don't find that kind of stuff funny, right?
It's hilarious.
So the whole scene with the dog and the Rottweiler and, like, chewing on when Shawn is on a date.
Yeah, that was it.
I didn't find it, like, it's just like that's not funny to me. Now, when the white girls was in the car and Shawn and Marlon gave them permission to drop the N-word, and everybody was rapping. Now that was hilarious to me, because to me, like, that was more rooted in, like, kind of like real comedy. It was a better joke.
Yeah.
And so you guys know, as comics, as people that stand up on stage and deliver jokes, like, some jokes are better than others, right? And in this movie, like, the jokes that may have hit for others might not have hit for others. And so I think, to your point, it's true. I'm watching this movie with different eyes, different perspective. And again, it's these are people that I love, whose comedy I love, but I don't know. I get why the movie got made. I get why it works on paper. But it just was I
don't know. I think maybe because I'm a female, I enjoyed some of the reality of what women go through, especially the scene in the fitting room when they trying to get their clothes together. And I wear a size 6.
That was funny.
You're not going to tell me I don't wear the size 6. Ma'am, you wear 9.
No, I do not.
Bring me the 6. And I've had moments where I've went into dressing rooms to help my girlfriend pull something up, squeeze into something. Then we wear it later. And then we go out later. She don't even want to put it on because she can't fit it. Or the issue with the what did he say? What did he eat?
The cheese?
He had the quiche.
The quiche.
The quiche. That happens to women. It's just, I think for me, a lot of it that I enjoyed was just the dynamics that they expressed of just being a woman out on a date with somebody who you keep telling, I'm not interested in you. As soon as you get to the date, I'm not interested. I'm going to change your mind, buttercup. Well, you know what? I'm going to be the nastiest, wildest person in the world. Wild. And I love you.
You into that? Okay.
Yeah.
He said, it's bad. He said, we're going to have fun. Bask in the ambience. But that to me,
in the ambiance.
Ambiance, that had me rolling. I didn't roll this time, but I still looked forward to that little part. Bask in the ambience, or the ambiance.
Or even just the black guy saying, I don't want black women. I would like white women. You know, like, just some of it was.
Said, you're not. I'm not. You're not black.
You're not white.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the deception. That's
get away from me, Jigaboo.
Terry Crews, the character, Latrell Spencer,
yes,
just works.
Yeah,
like the character from beginning to end, like, he's highly unlikable. but highly hilarious at the same time, right?
Yes.
You know, from the moment he walks on the screen, he is a Uncle Tom.
Oh,
right?
yes.
He is an Uncle Tom. He's got 2 stamps on his coon passport, you know, to be there. But he's so serious, right? Like he's
so dedicated to who he is.
So dedicated
to
the role. And again, I am not used to, like, I'm not a huge Terry Crews fan, but I do get the appeal. And I think, like, for me, like, this was the first time that I kind of saw, like, oh, this man is talented.
Yes.
Right? Like, he isn't just like a goon or muscle bound. Like, there's a sense of comedic.
He has the timing
and sense of character. Yeah. He was fantastic in this movie.
And you know what else I loved? And black women don't get mad at me. I loved the black woman duo. When she thought her man was cheating and she had her friend, I was like, well, we gonna go to his house. We gonna go check. Because it's like there's so many men of color who can't just work. Where you at? Who you with? Why you ain't call me? I called you. I text you. You text me 3 minutes ago. I did, but you didn't answer what was you doing? I need to come in the house. And they always get that one friend that's like, and we finna pop up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we finna come through.
The pop-up girls.
And I thought that aspect of it was so funny because as much as we try to say it's not us, it's us.
The homie experienced that the other day.
Yeah. What I loved
I've been
about
with
this.
the homie and his girl just popped up.
But
He was like, he's chilling. He's like,
if it's your girlfriend, she should be able to just.
What I did like about
Is it not his girlfriend?
no, not even your wife. Just pop up.
Oh, I don't know. At the job?
You ain't got your woman
No,
to check?
he was at dinner with the homies.
Oh no,
And she just showed up?
I thought you meant like y'all was home chilling and she just showed up.
No.
No, but
or bring you pop up, bring me lunch or I'll bring you lunch. I'll pop up at my wife's job and bring
but
her
I ain't
lunch.
finna come out with you with the homies.
Yeah, she didn't believe he was with the homies.
Oh, well,
Okay,
that's
but
deeper than you.
Yeah.
So did she have reason to believe that?
No, according to him, and I believe him because we did several times. It just be me and him chilling, and he be like, oh, "She think I'm out with Jack, man."
Hurt people.
That sucks.
I'm just gonna show you.
Go find something to do. Like every time somebody tell me a situation with a woman like that, go find something to do. Because I don't have time. I can't imagine myself popping up. You at dinner with your friends and I'm just in the window.
Yeah.
I got shit to do.
I'm gonna shoot that.
Yeah.
I'm busy. I'm so busy that I forgot that you even said you were going somewhere with your friends.
But now let me ask you a question.
I can't do it. I've never been like that.
I've always felt like where there's smoke, there's fire, right? And for like women that do pop up and show up on something, I'd like to believe it's for a cause or a reason, right? Like they don't just do that randomly.
They definitely do. From previous relationships.
So it isn't necessarily the present circumstance in their current relationship. It's just a general distrust of he's not telling me the truth. He's not where he wants, where he says he is, and I've got to confirm that. Right. So even if the man has given you no evidence at all, they still do it.
Well, I think I could speak for myself. A lot of women have a sense of anxiety when it comes to relationships because we may not have been treated the best in past relationships. And because of that, I'm honest in relationships. Hey, listen, I have anxiety. This is what's happening with me. I need you to over-explain some things to me for now. And now I'm in a position in my life where I don't even want that because I did the healing. I healed. But back then, and even with relationships now, women are just not honest with who they really are up front and what their trauma is up front because they're scared that you're going to want to walk away. And if you choose to walk away, that's okay. That's just what comes with being honest. Hey, listen, I have some trauma. I'm working on it. I'm figuring it out. Sometimes I get insecure. In my last relationship, my ex cheated. And, if you say you out somewhere and that's where you really are, I might ask you if that's where you really are. I might ask you to check in, and if you know that information, do it before she even asks you. But that's if you're up to that, know. Everybody not up to that.
That's if you want to make it work with this particular woman.
Yeah,
and that's why.
Yeah, but I don't think it's deep rooted in the relationship. I just think that people don't heal, and when you don't heal, you'll drag all of that into
the next one,
a great person, and now that person is stressed out at the idea of you.
But I don't disregard everything you said about where the smoke is fire.
Right.
Because sometimes I'm like, some people, some people, this particular, not this, I'm talking about a whole nother homeboy. He always got some type of drama, but I said, bro,
it's him.
What you doing, man? He be like, come on, man. I said, bro, you fucking up? He be like, yeah. Sometimes does she know? But that was like 9 months ago.
9 months.
Yeah.
I said, but bro, enough. Once you do it, it's.
Do you know it takes 2 years minimum for you to get over trauma?
See what I'm saying?
I learned that in therapy.
Yeah.
It takes 2 years minimum for you to get over trauma. So if you've done something traumatic to your partner, not just women to men, but men to women, you decide to stay, it's going to take a minimum of 2 years before things get better.
And that's 2 years with some relationships with the scab continually getting picked at.
Right.
So it's just like there's the trauma, and you keep doing the things or acting in such a way that caused the wound to begin with. Right. So it's just kind of
call me back.
Yeah. You got to change your behavior.
Yeah.
Just like, I shouldn't have to always check in, man. I'm a grown ass man. I said, bro, but you got a woman it's
a relationship.
Which is why I don't understand why Marlon's character didn't just tell his wife.
Because he couldn't.
I was just about to break it back down.
Yeah.
But there wasn't enough backstory to validate the girl tripping so much.
Right.
You know, of course he was, the first scene was them at the bodega, and then once they left there, he went home and fell asleep, and it's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock at night. Like, you're tripping. It's not midnight. It's not in the middle of the night. I'm not coming home.
Well, no, there was validation. She went to his house to see him, and he wouldn't let her in. And remember when he wouldn't let her in, when she saw like a bra and panties laying around.
I'm talking about at the beginning.
The very beginning of the movie.
He was like, I went to the bar with Kevin. And he said, the bar is 6 minutes away from here.
Yeah.
You got back here in 8. 2 minutes unaccounted for, baby. He said, you know, if I'm going to cheat on you, it's going to take me longer than 2 minutes. Yeah. And she was like,
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so she tripping off bad. So I automatically don't like her. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And I automatically don't like him. I don't like men that, I don't like women that get ran over, and I don't like men that get ran over.
Stand your ground.
Yeah, stand your ground, especially when it's a valid reason. Like, you know you're not doing anything wrong. And he wasn't. Now, if he had messed around before with a coworker, with a former partner or something like that, and she hasn't healed from that, then I get it. You kind of built this bed, bro. You made this bed. Yeah. But he's an FBI agent, and a person don't understand that. For one, let's just start with this. Start with this. They're nowhere near FBI agent material. No way. They should have been police officers. Yes. No way.
Security guards.
Yeah. So there's the idea of them being agents, and then at one point in time, Shawn's character, Kevin, said, I'm an FBI agent. I make $30,000 a year. Yeah. I said, who? Who wrote this? Keenen, Shawn, and Marlon. Y'all didn't do the research? Yeah. FBI agents making bread. Yeah. I got a homeboy, FBI agent. I'm sorry.
But he's also a black FBI agent back in 2024.
2004. So my wife tried to say the same thing. I said, even in 2000, even
and that's why he wanted
ago,
this project so bad, to prove to him that he deserved to get this.
I don't believe that even in 2000, 2000, that FBI the salary was $30,000.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot cheaper back then too. I mean, I don't know.
Not 20 years ago.
20 years ago, I guess. So.
Nothing about his story makes sense.
It's not supposed
to,
right?
Like, and I get it, you know. But it's those little. It's those little things for me.
Stop being so serious. You're too serious.
I know.
He watching a movie. Yeah. This movie, I don't know, because how he making $30,000 in 2000? This is you watching the movie in 2004.
I just want the movie to help me along. Okay. Right? Yeah. Like some things I just want the movie to help me along.
Thinking too much. Yeah.
I just want the story. There's certain movies that even though like they're like, this movie is kind of dumb, but like at least I can follow.
Yeah.
Right? Like at least I don't have to suspend all belief to get through it. And just like I'm watching this movie and I'm like, none of this makes any sense. And like it's ridiculous. And so I'm trying to like one part of my brain is trying to enjoy the comedy, and the other part like when Shawn like in the middle of running this very important life or die, career ending chase, goes and tries to holler at the chick.
And date her.
And
take one of the
the girl, the cute girl with the
that doesn't make any sense.
You know what? My bigger issue was, I love the movie. Shout out to Marlon. I love you. He's a personal friend of mine. How nobody knew y'all was boys?
Yeah.
That was the only issue I had was if I always said, if I'm sitting at a table with a bunch of people, with a bunch
how
of...
your friends
How does your friends not know? Oh, you got your niece done? They could do that? They could do that?
Yeah.
How does nobody, not even your parents, nobody knew that this don't make no sense here?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Then there's no white chicks then.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a movie. They have to be able to. I think it's equivalent to like.
What in the world? I'm sorry.
How do you know that this is Mrs. Doubtfire is not a man?
Yeah.
Yeah. Our Big Mama is not this nigga in the fat suit.
Yeah. Like it has to happen, but I think some of those other movies do it more subtly, which is like they deal with Big Mama and they deal with Mrs. Doubtfire, but only in spurts and only at enough time that like the subterfuge doesn't wear off. And white chicks, like they go into social events where everybody knows them.
Yeah.
Right? Like everybody, they got best friends.
But even in Big Mama house, how did Nia Long not know?
Mm-hmm.
That's not your...
That's your
grandmother.
That's your grandmother that raised you, been there for you, took care of you when your mama wasn't there. You stayed in the house. This Big Mama house done cooked Thanksgiving, was there with you when you was married, then was there for you for your divorce, and you don't know that this ain't your grandma?
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
And now, you live in there? You see boxers everywhere around the house. Who boxers is these? You know, like I just...
But... That's the movie is so ridiculous. Yeah, it has to. It's equivalent to you watching a cartoon.
We're nitpicking.
Where you see somebody trying to hide from somebody, and they put a fake mustache on. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, where'd the guy go? He went over there, senor. Oh, okay, cool.
Right.
We know that.
Right. You got to suspend belief.
And like, yeah, so I'm okay with that part.
Yeah.
Now, just the...
But can I say this real quick? But Big Mama's House and those other movies, they also gave you, like you said earlier, I didn't want anybody, like there was nobody for me, like nobody connected. In Big Mama's House, that you connected with the young boy, you know, you connected with Nia Long, you connected with, there were characters that you actually connected with and felt like that is nice for him to be there for him, and he's taking him to play football, and we would like to him to have a love interest in Nia Long, and the grandmother really is helping, and she's bringing everybody together, and they're having dinner at her house.
So
and,
true.
You know, but I guess white chicks didn't have that. It was like, oh, there's these white girls.
Because almost every person in White Chicks was fake. Every character it was not relatable.
Yeah. And again, there's no anchoring character or anchoring theme. In Mrs. Doubtfire, another, you know, like
the kids
you care for Robin. Like, you know, like
he just want to see his kids.
He just want to see his kids, right? And in this particular thing, Marlon and Shawn want to save their career. And again, the movie does do some subtle things, like in terms of what Marlon learns about, you know, like acknowledging when your woman gets her hair done and things like that. So like that stuff kind of like hits and works a little bit. And then after I get like halfway into the movie, like then it's just like it becomes more enjoyable towards the end because it's like, F it, I'm already here, right? You know, but it never gets funnier. It just kind of gets like you get acquainted to it. But none of the characters mean anything to me. None of their objectives, none of their goals mean anything to me. And the movie ends, and the only ones I really kind of care about are like the homegirls. Like, you know, like the white homegirls.
The friends. Yeah.
Those are the only ones I really kind of come to.
The one chasing after the boy.
The blonde boy, and he was treating her like crap. And
I said, I don't like those type of girls, man. Like, this dude clearly he's not into you. And you just fawning after this dude. Yeah. Don't be a buster, bro.
Yeah.
But was he clearly not into her?
Clearly.
Remember, he was like,
making out with other chicks in front of
him.
Okay.
And he was like, why don't you come by the house? Why don't you come to the after
like 3 in the morning?
3 in the morning. That's sliding action only. We're not trying to talk. We're trying to get it cracking.
Yeah.
And she was like, you just trying to have me come over as a booty call, which is what Shawn was saying earlier. And then she looked over to him, and he was like,
you're not even worth that, or something.
It ain't even worth it. He was like, oh, yeah. He gave her dap or some shit like that.
Yeah.
he didn't really care about her.
Yeah, he didn't.
And she knew. And I think the boys knew it because the boys know. Guys know.
But that's another reason why I like the movie, because it showed how simple-minded women can be when they think they're in love with somebody. And it took another man to be like, he don't like you. He don't care about you. He's using you. I think because his family was running out of money and her family had money or something like that. So
her family is paid.
Yeah, it was paid. Yeah. So I like that too. I like that. I mean, it was small little things here and there, but I think for me as a woman, the movie made more sense.
It's the scene, the breakdancing scene.
Yeah.
That was funny.
That was funny.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, because it's to me, it's more like my laugh isn't like it's more like this is just ridiculous, bro.
Yeah. Because it's so ridiculous. It's so funny.
Ridiculous. It's funny,
and that's why I love Marlon. Marlon is like one of those actors that it's just like you don't know how far this man is going to go to execute. I was watching. I can't remember the movie I was watching, but somebody died in the movie, and it was like a burial scene, and Marlon like threw himself in the grave. Do you know what I'm talking about? It wasn't even that he threw himself in the grave. It's how, like, when I was in acting class, they always say, to what extent are you willing to go for this to make it make sense?
He's willing to go
Marlon had dirt in his mouth and in his eyes, real dirt. And when he came up out of the grave, he spit it out his mouth. And I said, I know this is not dirt and all kind of debris in his that's how serious he was about getting. He smudged it in his face. I wish we could bring it up. It's so funny. 20 years from now, it might not be funny, but every time it pops up, the meme now all over social media it says, if my best friend dies, this is how I'm gonna be at her funeral. And it's just he's just acting a fool, jumping in the coffin, jumping out, and then it's nothing, and he just pops up, and then it's just dirt in his mouth. It's just, he just goes the length.
It's interesting. Shawn and Marlon, they sit in a very like unique area of the Wayans family, right? Like Keenen and Damon got it out the dirt, right? Like in the comedy clubs, and blew up beyond their wildest dreams, and there was no expectation on them, right? The younger Wayans kids don't have the same expectations of even Marlon and Shawn. Right. So if you look at Damon Wayans Jr. and the work he's done on New Girl and all this other stuff, he just kind of he's able to cook. Like nobody is going like, you have to be as good as your dad. Right. Or you've got to be as good as your uncles, right? Like you just get to be like, I'm a Wayans from that pedigree. But Shawn and Marlon come with expectation, I think. And I think that expectation has kind of like leaned and been a shadow on their career. We expect them to be as funny as Keenen and Damon, right? In the same kind of way, but they're not. They're not. Shawn is different than Keenen and Damon. Marlon is different than everybody, of them, right?
I think he's very different. He's probably closest to Kim Wayans.
Yeah, but he's also the baby, isn't he?
He's the baby, yeah. I don't know if he's the very youngest, but he might be.
I think he's the very youngest, if I'm not mistaken. We can look it up. Shawn are the last but I think it's Shawn and then Marlon.
And I think what's interesting is that I think that affects their comedy and their performance in a little bit. The way that kind of like the youngest kids do the most to get the most attention, they go big instead of going subtle, right? Which is what the older folks do. And so like Little Man and White Chicks, and to a certain extent, Don't Be a Menace, they go big. Like the jokes are big. They aren't even always smart, right? They're big. Like Scary Movie, the jokes are big, the gags are big. And it's all that. And so if you like that, then cool. But I think that like they sit in an interesting position because we want some of Keenen and Damon as well. Or maybe we've unfairly put that expectation on them.
Unfairly put that. Yeah. I think Marlon isn't as funny as his older brothers. I'm not talking about Shawn, I'm talking about Keenen and Damon. I never thought he was. I've always been a fan of Marlon. Marlon, the Wayans brothers, I loved it. That show ran because of Marlon's.
Yeah, Marlon's a talent.
He's a talent.
Yeah.
That's brings me to my next point. I honestly think he might be the most talented. Not the funniest, but I like Marlon with the serious shit he does.
Yeah.
Even the scenes in White Chicks. Now, mind you, they weren't like Oscar-winning serious moments. But I said, okay, Marlon can go.
Yeah.
I seen Marlon in Respect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Marlon in Requiem for a Dream.
Requiem for a Dream.
Have you seen that?
Marlon and Mo Money.
Yeah.
Marlon, like when Marlon turns on like his seriousness, like he's not being a jokester all the time. I believe him. I like him. I like Marlon Wayans.
Yeah.
And I even more sincerely than I liked Keenen in his serious moments. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying more talented. Let me say more, maybe multifaceted.
Yeah.
You know, because Damon Wayans is a generational talent. You know what I'm saying? On that stage for sure.
Yeah.
Even on camera. Keenen is the Megatron.
He's the muse.
He's Mount Rushmore when it comes to this.
Yeah. Which is interesting.
Overall comedy, overall this business when it comes to putting your whole family on, no one's done it like that.
Right.
You know, and for him to shape the culture the way he has since Hollywood Shuffle. Yeah. And him and Robert. So and even though he wasn't in it, he made 5 Heartbeats. He's so much a part of that.
That's why this movie is so confusing to me.
But now you got Keen and then you got Shawn and Marlon. They're a different type of funny. Yeah. They're big. They're, you know what I'm saying,
they're
super
loud,
slapsticks.
But I'm sorry to cut you off. No, I just think that at the time when this movie came out, there was a lane for it. You know, I can understand if White Chicks came out now and we have these strong opinions about White Chicks, not now. But when it came out, it was a lane for it.
I thought it was great.
And that's why they kept going with the the scary movies. They kept coming with this hard slapstick movies because they were being proven to that there is a lane for it and people do like it. Now and also they stayed in the limelight as well. The other Wayans kind of backed out a little bit. Keenen kind of went back. Damon was doing My Wife and Kids, and then eventually after that, you didn't see him.
Right.
Shawn, I can't even say Shawn. Marlon stayed consistently.
Marlon wants to work.
With Scary Movie, with everything he's doing now. Now he's got a stand-up. He had the show on NBC. He's been consistent. The movies.
Super consistent.
He's been consistent.
Yeah. And you listen to Marlon. Marlon watch his interviews.
He's smart.
I've never met him. I've seen him, but
brilliant.
He is for sure a Wayne. He's fearless and he's comfortable in his position and who he is. And that's the more than I can say for a lot of creators, a lot of actors, a lot of celebrities. I feel like he's heard it all. You're not as funny as the 2 older ones. You're not this, you're not that. He's heard what you're not so much. I feel like he has the strongest mindset. Like that's Charles True, but watch this.
And that's what I love is that he do what he won't. If you tell him that's not gonna work, this ain't. You know what he does? I'll invest my own money into it, and we're gonna give you. We're gonna give you what was it? Was it called? What was it called? Scary Movie.
Scary Movie.
What was it? It turned into a sequel. Then it turned into.
It was a franchise.
It had to be about franchise. It had to be about 5, 6. But you know what? He said, I'm gonna do this first one by myself. Since y'all don't believe on it, we can have a nonsense budget. I'm gonna get my friends to do it with me. And then what happened? He showed the world that there is a market. People do like this kind of comedy. I mean, back in the 80s and 70s and 50s, they had that slapstick comedy with the guy with the mustache. And
the Three Stooges.
Yeah, I would never laugh at that.
I used to love that. I have the DVD.
I didn't understand it. Move. Why are you letting him hit you?
Ooh.
Yeah, don't touch my lip. Like I would be so offended by that type of comedy.
That. Right. So that's why I still love the slapstick.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and that's why White Chicks still worked. It wasn't culturally centered for us.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. It was. This is on some. What would happen if?
Right.
This is that movie. This movie is what would happen. This is what it would look like. Hence me doing stuff like the lesbian homie, and that's some of that. A lot of that world is so untrue, and you know what I'm saying. I come across studs all day. They're like, bro, come on. It's fantasy.
But it's fantasy.
But some of that shit is real. Some of that shit is real shit.
But the crazy thing about it, and something that I've learned just being in this business and watching people do sketches of stuff that I would be like, I would never think that. There is a market of people who would think that.
Love it.
Who would be like, oh, I was thinking the same thing. And you'd be like, you was thinking that? Yeah.
2 dudes posing, 2 black men posing as white girls. Not just women, but white girls.
White girls.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It did well.
For example, and like you just said it, during that time, that was for sure. Mrs. Doubtfire just happened a couple of years before that. Shanae, Wanda, Big Mama's House, and also on top of that, think about all the type of comedies that were coming out.
We had the sitcoms.
We had Billy Madison. You know what I'm saying, we had Adam Sandler, Slapstick, Super.
Yeah.
We had Seth Rogen. All these. So this is Ben Stiller. We had a long and
Marlon just said, "Why can't we do it as black people?"
Right.
All the white people got all these shows out, slapstick comedy, Adam Sandler, everything is happening. Where's ours? And he said here.
This is what's so dope about this conversation, because like I agree with you both, and it's unfair.
You better.
My position is unfair. It's actually unfair to them. Like this movie, the budget on this movie was $37 million. It made 113.
Come on now.
That's box office gold.
Yeah.
So Hollywood is going to ask for, request, and demand more of this. I almost kind of liken it to like when a rapper goes pop. Right, like you know, when like you get those first 2 albums from a rapper, and it's gritty, and it's it's the Bronx, it's Brooklyn, and then after doing this real rap, then you hear the club banger, from a gritty rapper, and you're like, he just went pop, he went for the money.
Like, what's his name? Pitbull,
that kind of stuff, right? You know,
and then he ended up doing La Yoka,
went pop. I can't even fix my mouth to say this about Keenen Ivory Wayans because I have so much respect for him, but it almost kind of feels like these series of movies were reflective of like Hollywood or the Wayans philosophy or just plain old-fashioned good business kind of going pop, because none of these movies, Scary Movie, White Chicks, Little Man, none of them feel like Keenan's creativity. They don't feel like what Keenen would be doing. It feels like it's what Keenen can do because of the fact that these movies made money, and he's in the business to make money, but there's an art of it all. And this is where it feels unfair. Is it's like I'm saying like, but like it wasn't like that first album, right? Like, this wasn't in living color. This wasn't like that type of like biting,
I'm gonna get you sucker,
complicated, satirical comedy.
And even I'm gonna get you sucker with slapstick.
Super slapstick, but it was based in the hood.
That's what I'm saying.
It was everything was black around it.
And that's what I'm saying. The White Chicks didn't make sense because you couldn't connect to it. I'm gonna get you sucker did because who ain't messed their big toe up? You know what I'm saying? Like who didn't have a girl who work at a coffee shop or work somewhere and she don't really want to be there, and she got a period, and now she want to fight everybody and their mama. But it was slapstick. If you look back at it,
don't be amazed to slapstick.
The person who was flipping ain't the same person. That can't be the mama. That's
the mama was a man in a jury curl with a mustache, and they showed it. They showed it
because that was the comedy of it, and
that's
dang
comedy.
well this mama can't flip like
and this is what Keenen did. Keenen, he won. He conquered the hood. He conquered Black America, Black anything. With a living color with all the earlier films. Yeah. Now I'm gonna try to take over the world.
Here's okay.
I think so. Now I've given you the first 2-3 albums. They made amazing. Now I'm about to experiment.
I want everybody.
Now I want everybody.
Why am I in a box?
You know what I'm saying? Right. So I feel like because they were basically Terry Crews, and the two brothers, Marlon and Shawn, and then the girlfriend and her homegirl, 5 people. How many? They were like no other black people in the movie.
Right.
So that's another reason why we watching Night of the Roxbury. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This could have easily been Ryan Reynolds playing Van Wilder dressed up as a woman and doing the same thing. It just happened to be 2 black men. And that's not what we're used to for these people.
And I feel like Hollywood kind of, in some ways, did this to all of our black talent. Right? Like a lot of the movies that like Martin Lawrence were making, because we did this. Like when we watch Nothing to Lose. And we kind of talked about like, is Nothing to Lose a BlackBuster? Or is it, like really a white movie that like Martin Lawrence is in? And how there's a bunch of movies like that from like our black talent, right? Like Black Knight and all of these kind of movies where like our black talent continues to work, but like the material is less and less relatable because the material is being generated by the studios, and the studio notes like fuck up what was a good idea. Like I bet, and we talked about this when we talked about Scary Movie, I bet the original draft of White Chicks is fucking hilarious. Right? Like I bet it's dope. I bet it's got like some biting comedy and some humor. But after it goes through the studio machine and gets the studio notes, you know what I mean? Like this is what we get. right?
Yeah, that's yep.
And so and I don't like that, right? Because I know, like I could tell, like
our people's not gonna get that.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing: if white chicks, if these two dudes dressed up as white women, and the whole movie was in Brooklyn or in the Bronx or in a black or a Spanish neighborhood, and they're a fish out of water, they're going to a black college. Like, this would probably be a way funnier movie because there's a lot of shit that we can relate to. Just how these how black people are responding to these white girls.
When the white girls, when they're in the car and they're rapping along, and Shawn and Marlon give them permission to say nigga, and they say nigga like 8 times, nigga. Like that's the movie right there. Like that's the joke.
Right.
Like if you stay in that like fish out of water and our main characters know what's going on and they keep, manipulating these white folks to do things and say things that we know they want to do, but the movie turns and they focus it on the uncomfortable nature of these men kind of being women, which is also kind of funny. But for me, the gold was like center it more on race, right? And this movie kind of like dilutes the race part. And it becomes about like the gender part, but it's still like these black men, but we kind of forget that they're black men because like their blackness kind of gets mortgaged in many ways, right? They're up in this environment that's completely white. And they're like, we just lose a sense of self. Like, I find it interesting that the 3 black people in there are Terry Crews's character, his valet, who has zero purpose in the movie, and the black reporter. Right? And it's just like, and they don't have no inside track on anything. This reporter who knows everything about everything doesn't know that Marlon's character isn't the professional football player or basketball player, right? And she's a gossip queen. Like, she's somebody that knows everything and she has no idea who the only other black man at the party is.
No, because y'all be lying.
Like, so
y'all be lying.
Those little things that I think I keep it from being a better movie.
The script was a little shaky. There were some things that happened, like the two real sisters getting their noses busted and lip busted, and them sitting in the hotel room for a couple of days, and
with Secret Service.
Everybody was gone. They were there by themselves.
Oh. Just them two by themselves, and they healed in the day or two. There's no more scar.
Exactly.
And now they're
like they still showed up in time for the party.
Right. But I'm okay with all that because it's supposed to be silly. It's not. This is not supposed to be a super tight script.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be funny slapstick moments in the movie. This guy's singing and dancing. Yeah. He's on a pill, and so he's super like
expressive, just over expressive.
Yeah, over stimulated and sure off, he's dancing, this big buff nigga pop locking. That's supposed to be what the movie's about. Yeah. Slapstick physical comedy.
Yeah. I don't expect prestige, comedy all the time.
But I do want to say this. I feel like the entire Wayans family just told us they can do what they want.
Yeah.
We did In Living Color.
We gave y'all that.
We did the Marlon show. We what was the movie with Damon when he was in the army?
Major Payne.
We did movies.
We did.
Now we're gonna do what we want to do, and it just seemed like the character like Marlon is like, hey, I'm gonna try this. Now we're not gonna do that. Why not? Because we don't think it's a good idea. I'm gonna do it.
I'm trying anyways.
It's a great concept, and they got rewarded for it.
And they got rewarded for it.
The movie made money.
It made money, but I also want to say this as a writer who has some shows on the table now. What you put in is not what you're going to get out.
100%.
And that's why when he said, I bet you the original script is funny, I've been pulling back from certain deals because I'm wholesome and hard. Like, this is what I want this sitcom to be like. And I appreciate this writer, but this writer don't write like me. And this writer don't sound like me. And I would never say that.
Okay. Right.
And I needed to be as close to me and who I am as possible,
and this
so I can see the script being
such a
completely
beautiful thing
different.
because then I could see, not that this could be the case, but I could see a scenario where the show actually comes out and let's say we had more tenure or background, and I could be like, that's not the show she wanted to do. These are not her jokes,
right?
This or That's a very underseasoned joke.
Yeah.
I know the way she wants to tell that joke.
All through My Wife and Kids from Damon Wayans' comedy.
That's what this feels like.
When you watch In Living Color, you can see and hear Damon Wayans' comedy all through the jokes, all through the characters. My Wife and Kids was still a funny show. It was a family show. Yeah. He's not a family comic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Damon Wayans had to be watered down. You could tell, all right, as a father, he probably will be much rawer of a father.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Than what we saw on the show. The show was still great.
Yeah, it was a great
show. And the show was still super hilarious.
Yeah.
But I feel like Martin was able to do a lot more on the TV show Martin than Damon Wayans was able to do. Because imagine Damon Wayans having a show where he's a single father or this eligible bachelor.
They got one coming out.
Does he?
Damon and Damon Jr.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
That's going to be great.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I had a point I wanted to say to you in response to what you were saying. Damn it.
Find it. I'm
gonna find it. About the women, the guys dressing up as women.
Yeah.
It'll come back to me. It'll come back, I'm sure.
Well, we got to get into some awards.
Yeah.
We've reached the award point.
Okay.
So we're gonna say, who is the MVP of White Chicks?
The most valuable.
Which character is the most valuable part of White Chicks?
For me, I would have to go with Terry Crews.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Which is crazy because it's supposed to be one of the two main characters. But I feel like that's just like a lot of comedies, things just work out and they're not supposed to work out. Like the fashion show was a travesty, but it still worked out and everyone started clapping. Yeah. We can't give the credit to Shawn or Marlon's character, to Kevin or Marcus at all, because they didn't do anything good. Everything they did messed up. Everything they did messed up.
I think for me, it's that a lot of the stuff that they did, I'm not going to say I expected them to do. I just was okay with like, oh, that's just how Marlon is. Like, that's Marlon's acting. Yeah. But Terry Crews, I had never heard of him really. And he was just this big, black, big-ass, muscular, 6'5", 6'6" guy. Was he a football player, right? Basketball player.
In the show, movie.
In the movie. And he was just so, funny.
So funny.
And it just was such an unexpected treat to have in the movie, especially with him dancing and him being like, oh, you're not white, or he fart and get this jigaboo away from me.
He looked away. He was so upset with him that he looked away. I can't even stand you right now. Get this jigaboo away from me.
He was so good.
Or from the restaurant. Or from them being in the car together, or she's eating all the food and he's intrigued. Like, oh, you sure can put it away. Like to see somebody of that size have so much
unassuming
and just so like that he just has such a comedic presence that it was not shocking. It was just a pleasant surprise.
There's a lack of shame that he has in his character. Like everything else is ridiculous in this world, but for him, everything makes sense. Like everything made sense for his character. So the fact that like he never wavers, like no matter what Marlon does, he's witted. Like, he's witted like every step of the way, and that is funny because and then there's a weird charm to his character. Right? We're like, like he's hella
a nice
thirsty.
guy.
Didn't he win the bidding?
Yeah.
Yes. $20,000, no, $50,000. $50,000.
Yeah.
$50,000.
He's just, and I think he's the best thing on the screen. And I think in some ways, the way he plays that role makes the unbelievable believable.
Until I saw his wife, and I was like, oh.
She's black though.
Is she?
She looks white.
I did not know that. I thought
she's a pastor. Like she's a Mariah Carey.
But why did she? But her hair is blonde.
Yeah, but she might. I don't know for sure. I think she's like albino, or if not,
albino. Okay.
Or
like a Daphne Monet. She's but I do believe that she is black though.
Yeah.
I think one of her parents are white, but I think one of her parents.
When I first saw her, I was like, oh. Then I heard her talk. I was like, oh,
But I think she's from where he's from. I think he's from Grand Rapids. He's from Midwest.
Grand Rapids,
I think she's from the Midwest. So the Barges are from the Midwest. The Barges be out here. Yeah. So,
but I enjoyed him. He was probably my favorite. I didn't know he was coming to the moment he pulled up in front of the hotel and tried to talk to them, his all-white suit. And he was just like, and I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
He's the MVP for me.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Terry Crews. The movie isn't as enjoyable.
It wouldn't have been.
Without him. I think him chasing after, and it's not just that character, it's the performance. It's what he brought to that character. Because you could get Anthony Anderson to do that. I mean, it would have been funny.
He earned his career.
Chest.
Yeah.
He earned his career with this. Right. Like, there are people that saw him and was like, who's that guy?
Yes.
Right?
For sure.
And so that got him auditions.
Me.
I think I seen him as Damon. This came after Next Friday, right?
Oh yeah, I gotta believe so.
I think it wasn't after Next Friday. This is 2004.
This is 2004.
Yeah, Next Friday was 2007,
Let's
6.
see. Next Friday came out 2000.
Oh, Next Friday came in 2000.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was a fan of him. I think I first seen him there. In Next Friday.
Who was he in Next Friday?
He was Damon. He was the Debo. He was the
he was Debo.
He was
big bad.
He was. You right.
So to go, and I rock with him. I say I know them big ass buff niggas in the league, in the hood. You know what I'm saying? That's what I wanted to be like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and big funny dudes always stood out to me. Freeze Love is probably the biggest funny dude I seen the House Party too.
Because nobody expects it.
Nobody expects it to be big, funny, looking menacing. But
you the scary one in the movie.
And like vulnerable enough to like be funny.
Right.
Be
to
silly. Well, I'll let the joke be on me. Like,
take the L.
Yeah, I'll take the L.
Yep.
Okay, so speaking of L, who's the LVP in White Chicks?
You said it.
The valet.
The valet.
The valet.
His flunky. His flunky.
Was he Indian? What was
no, he was the black guy.
He was the second. Remember after, SW1 was Shawn Wayans. He was the first DJ of A Living Color. The next DJ was this guy.
Okay.
I forget his name.
He's probably a cousin or like a first cousin or something.
Yeah.
But basically he's just there to kind of like beck and call on anything that Terry Crews character wants.
Oh yes, okay. I know you're talking about. Okay, he was like his
He's like his assistant.
holding his coat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Yes, he was funny too.
He's got no value to the
He
movie
was funny
though.
too.
And
As a
if you
character.
think of somebody else that's more important but still had no value, I couldn't find one. Like the other two detectives.
Yeah.
Other two detectives were.
I mean, I could have easily lost any one of the homegirls. The white chick girls, like they could easily, I didn't need all three of them. You know what I mean? Like, because all three of them didn't have interesting things about them. They were just
the short one.
Yeah. She's supposed to have some sort of connect.
She was like the publicist.
She was like the publicist.
Yeah. So,
but for me, the valet could easily go. Okay, so this is where it gets difficult for me. We need to rank this movie on a scale of 5 black fists, all-time classic, to 1 black fist, a black movie that got made. How do you guys rank White Chicks?
I would rate White Chicks. Okay, I would rate White Chicks. Ooh, it's tough because it hasn't been done since. It's tough because it showed a different, just different. I mean, I don't know. We just seen our actors in a different light. And I don't think we've ever seen black men portray white women in a movie, have we?
No.
No.
Not in a feature length movie.
Not to this at this level.
So and there's such and the whole family's just so talented. But if I had to give it 4 black fist, is it black?
Black fist.
4 black
fist. Not 4. If I had to give it a 1 out of 5, 5 being
all-time
classic. 1 being they just made a movie. They had nothing else to do. They had a couple of dollars. I would. Sheesh. Kids.
No, there's no wrong answer.
I'm biased because it's my friend.
I know,
but keep it 100.
That's the bias.
Keep it a buck.
Do we get to give halves?
You can give half.
Okay, I would do a 3.5.
Okay.
Because yes, I do feel like they just had an opportunity to make a movie and they made a movie, but I also feel like it's something that hasn't been done, and it also, to some extent, showcases, I don't want to say additional talents, but I like the movie. Okay.
That's your job.
I give it a 3.
3?
It's a 3. A 3 black fist. as I'm looking at my IMDb page, I'm looking at the Wayans Brothers movie, The White Chicks, and I'm looking at it's showing like different movies that these brothers have done. I'm looking at Mo Money.
Yeah.
Mo Money. And I'm like the comedy, and this shows a clip of Damon and Marlon acting like homosexual men, like gay men. And it's hilarious. They did a great job. Yeah. It's hilarious. And I'm like, the different type of comedy will give me a 4 or 5. This is that type of film. It's not that. It's a different type of commercial, corny.
It's not for us.
It's not for us, but I still enjoyed it. I'll have to watch it again.
Yeah.
But the fact of seeing these two dudes dressed up like white girls is hilarious.
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
I'm gonna give it a 3.
You give it a 3. Okay. Boy. Oh boy. Everything in me wants to give this movie a 1 black fist.
Okay. Everything
in me. But the truth of the matter is that it does have its charms. Right? Terry Crews is really good in it. I enjoy some of the jokes. There were a couple of chuckles. It's not the worst black movie I've ever seen. That's Meet the Browns. So I'm going to go.
I don't even know which one is which at this point.
That's Mike Epps. This is the Mike Epps movie.
Meet the Blacks.
Meet the Blacks.
Meet the Blacks. Yeah,
Meet the Blacks.
That was like Tyler.
Yeah, I didn't know. Sorry. I didn't like Meet the Blacks at all.
I never seen it. I never seen it.
I just recently saw it.
Okay. But I don't want to be fake. I'm giving it 1 black fist.
Okay, that's okay.
Right? White Chicks?
Yeah. Okay. I'm giving it a 1. Damn. It's not as good as any of my 3s that I've done. I'm just not a fan of it. And
what's the 3 that you've done? Give me an example.
Whatever. Okay, so let me see if I can find something.
I don't even remember the scores I'd be giving half the time.
Like we gave Woo a 3.
Did we give both of them?
I gave Woo a 3.
What would you rank a 5?
Coming to America.
The first or the second?
Oh, the first.
The second is a 1.
Yeah, the second is.
We haven't done the second one yet.
We haven't done the second one.
But like
Blade.
But like Class Act.
Blade's a 5.
Yes, Blade is a 5.
Class Act was a 5.
Okay,
for me.
I didn't see
right?
That.
And Class Act is the same kind of like goofy kind of humor that we have here, just executed much better.
Boys in the Hood.
That's 5.
5.
Yeah, it's 5. Easy 5. Okay. Easy 5. So this is a 1 for me. Again, it's just like it just wasn't my dish.
Okay.
That's all. Much love and respect for the Wayans and the family, but this particular output, I'm not a fan of. So it's just a black movie that got made for me.
Okay.
And you know why I'm apologizing? Because if I don't ever want to be disrespecting these talent that I love and put on such a pedestal.
But you could say.
But I got to be honest, I don't like this movie.
It's just a movie. It's not like we ranking a career.
No.
It's just
a
movie.
But they artists and they sensitive about their shit, right? Like Erica said. So, anywho, that's it. That's all I got.
Well, I had a good time.
I had a great time.
I almost punched you twice. Twice.
I had a great time. So White Chicks is a 3 black fist for me. It's a 3.5 for Sister Williams. And for brother
it's a 1.
It's a 1.
It's a 1.
It's a 1 black fist.
It's a white fist.
It's a white fist.
we got down the scale. It's no longer black. We're on the other side of the equation.
You gave it a 0 at this point.
It's a black fist. It's okay. Terry Crews saves it. Darkens it up.
Yeah. Yes, he does. He darkens it up.
Yeah.
Puts a little flavor in it.
Puts a little
seasoning.
Yeah, a little seasoning.
I wish he would have did more movies. And I feel like his career has
Terry?
He has a great career, by the way.
Man, he caught that Me Too, that Black Me Too case. That's what kind of
the guy.
But he's always worked on shows and stuff like that. He's doing his thing.
Yeah.
And I wish he would did more acting like White Chicks and Friday and
he was really good in you ever see Idiocracy?
Yeah, he was good in it.
He was really good.
He's dope. He's dope.
He's great.
I wanted more. I mean, it's not over. He still got time, but I feel like he
got caught up in that AGT check.
Yeah.
He got caught up in that.
Ryan Seacrest now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And then he got caught up with like the one thing that you got to do when black people are all pulling in one direction, you got to pull in that direction too.
And if you decide not to, because
be quiet about it, or and so he got to pulling in the wrong direction, and Twitter and Instagram like checked his ass,
tear his ass up
immediately.
Man, the internet be undefeated.
Man, undefeated.
They will. They because
they got nothing to lose. They don't know you.
They don't know you.
The internet will have you.
And you can't embarrass the internet.
Yeah.
The internet will have you in the pantry.
They'll always be undefeated. They have nothing to lose, and and nothing's really to gain either. And that's why they just loose cannon. And
reckless.
You can't embarrass the internet.
Yeah.
You know, the internet will have you in your pantry eating Oreos, crying in the dark.
Damn, in the dark.
I certainly have had to learn. Imagine the takes that I take on this podcast.
I take on.
You know what I'm saying? The takes that I take on this podcast, I've had to learn to be like, I hope your little girl ain't listening, but I've had to learn to be like, fuck them niggas.
Yeah. She's heard me say it out loud.
Yeah, so
yes.
I've embraced that. All right, that's it.
That's it, man.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I would love to have you back.
I would love to come back.
Please do.
I'm gonna pick a really good movie.
Yeah.
Yes,
let's pick a better one.
Like What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
That's not a Blockbuster, but is
it not? It should have been.
But it's going to be. We'll end up reviewing that in another way.
Yeah, He should have been. Leonardo was amazing in that.
He was indeed. Yes, that's a great film. That's a great film. Hard to watch though too. After it gets sad. Woo.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I am your host, Big Ja, and this is my co-host,
1,000 Tones.
1,000 Tones, and our special great guest, Sister Takara Williams. And this is BlackBusters, the best movie review podcast in the world.
In the world, Craig.
That's a tongue twister for me. Movie review. I got big ass lips, so I'll be like,
I just pretended like I didn't hear you struggle.
You been hearing me struggle. I've been struggling. I struggle every other show. Every other episode. Movie review. You
should
podcast.
Just practice that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it slower.
Yeah.
The best movie review podcast in the world.
That's very good.
I gotta slow it down like that.
Good job.
Look at us like it's English tutors. You can do it, Ja.
Oh my God. Don't cry. Yeah. So good.
You can read.
The best movie review podcast in the world, Craig. In the world, Craig. I'm the host of Ja, along with 100 Tones. 1,000 Tones. I'm sorry. 1,000 Tones. And to Carl Williams.
Thank you for having me.
The first of hopefully a few more shows.
Yes, I'm here. I don't live close, but I'm here.
Indeed. Amen. Oh yeah, you up here.
Yeah.
You should live up the block. Damn near. Now she up there looking down on us minuscule individuals. All right, I'm out of here, man. To catch us next time on BlackBusters. Love it. Be good or be good at it. I'm out of here. Pew.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew. To the max. BlackBusters.